The things he chased never helped him. They slowly destroyed him. Most people waste their time chasing things that only look valuable, never realizing what truly matters. In a quiet forest lived a curious black crow who was always drawn to shiny objects, coins, pieces of glass, metal rings glinting in the sunlight. Every sparkle made his heart race, and he believed collecting these treasures would make him special. Day after day, he ignored food, rest, and even the safety of the trees, following every bright reflection he saw, unaware that his obsession was quietly pulling him away from what truly mattered. Each morning, the crow would wake early and scan the forest for anything that sparkled. He watched other birds flying freely, building nests, and gathering food, but he hardly noticed them. Instead, his eyes were always drawn to shiny objects lying scattered on the ground or glinting in the sunlight. He spent hours hopping from branch to branch, collecting pieces of metal, glass, and anything that reflected light. Though he was careful and persistent, he ignored the basics: rest, nourishment, and shelter. Over time, the forest became cluttered with his small treasures, yet the crow felt no satisfaction. Deep inside, he sensed a constant emptiness, a quiet worry that all this collecting might be taking him further away from the life he truly needed. Instead of thinking about what truly mattered, the crow kept collecting more shiny objects. Each new sparkle felt exciting, and staying on the forest floor seemed safe compared to learning to soar higher or focusing on finding real food. He told himself he would pay attention to the other birds later, once he had gathered enough treasures. Days turned into weeks, and the forest around him grew cluttered with his small hoard. From the outside, he looked busy and purposeful. Inside, however, he felt trapped by his own habits. What he thought was cleverness and carefulness was really fear: fear of missing out, fear of being ordinary, and fear that if he stopped chasing shiny things, life would suddenly feel empty or meaningless. One evening, as the sun began to set, the crow sat on a high branch and looked at the scattered shiny objects around him. The forest was quiet, and he could see other birds flying freely toward their nests. A question struck him deeply: why am I chasing reflections when I am missing the life I could have? For the first time, he realized that all his effort to collect shiny things had brought excitement only for a moment, never real satisfaction. The forest around him seemed larger, the air fresher, and yet he had confined himself to the ground, limited by his own choices. That quiet thought shook him more than any fear of leaving his treasures ever had. The next morning, the crow decided to change his focus. Instead of chasing every shiny object, he chose to collect only what he truly needed to survive: twigs for his nest, small pebbles for balance, and grains for food. He still noticed glimmers in the sunlight, but he didn't let them distract him. Each day, he focused on these small, purposeful actions, hopping from branch to branch, storing food and improving his nest. Some days were harder, and the temptation to chase a bright reflection was strong. Yet he persisted. Slowly, he felt lighter and more in control. For the first time, collecting became meaningful, and he realized that progress came not from glittering distractions, but from steady, thoughtful effort. Over time, the crow noticed a quiet change within himself. He no longer felt restless or distracted by every glimmer he saw. His nest was stronger, his food supply steady, and he felt calmer in the forest. Watching other birds soar, he realized that he too could rise, not because of shiny objects, but because of focus and consistent effort. His mind felt lighter, and his heart felt content. The crow understood that true satisfaction came from meaningful actions, not fleeting temptations, and for the first time, he felt at peace with his choices. The crow finally understood an important truth: not everything that shines is valuable, and chasing distractions only wastes time and energy. True progress comes from focusing on what truly matters and taking small, steady steps every day. Moral: you don't need to follow every glitter you see. Pay attention to what is meaningful, act with purpose, and trust that steady effort leads to real growth. Wise choices always shine brighter than empty treasures.